Okay, so for the next talk, Xavier will tell us about the LSP.
Exactly. Thank you very much for the introduction. First of all, I'm really sorry because of my accent. You will notice that I come from Belgium, so my English is not very good, and also my French. So I'm extremely stressed because when I was young, my friend was fond of soccer player, and I was fond of OCaml software engineer, so it's a kind of glorification to be here to speak about a new era of OCaml editing powered by Merlin, delivered by LSP. So the goal of the presentation is to clarify some stuff because I know that it's sometimes complicated to understand the relation between Merlin and LSP. And yes, it will be a testimonial about transitioning smoothly to LSP as a main language server. So OCaml is a relatively old language with an extremely good set of tooling. Some people say, you know, I come from Rust and Rust is better. But I think that OCaml is an old language with a lot of very, very nice tools. And everything was split into different scope of responsibilities. So it starts with syntax highlighting, which was done in Touareg and Camel mode for Emacs World and by OCaml.vim for Vim World. So we have the extremely useful tool OCP indent to make small indentation and to compute the position of the cursor when you enter a new line in your editor. We have code formatting with OCaml format that can be sometimes a little bit opinionated. And since 2013, we have IDE services like completion, diagnostic, and stuff that can make Vim and Emacs look like Eclipse or IntelliJ IDE. So we will mainly focus on the IDE services part. Even it allows to deal with tools like OCaml format and OCP indent. So here is a very, very clear schema of the way that the editor interacts with the language server. So everything starts with a build system that will interact with the compiler to produce a build artifact on the disk. And after that, we have an editor that will send buffer and request to a client and to the set of tools like OCaml format, Merlin, and stuff like that. And it will send a response to the editor. So it's extremely simple. And at the beginnings, the world was very cool because we just have two editors, Emacs and Vim. To be honest, I'm not really aware about Vim. I know Emacs. And it was perfect because we just had to maintain two plugins, one for Vim and one for Emacs. So yeah, it was very nice. But now we are in a modern era. So we have a lot of new tools that show. A lot of very good tools, in fact. And it increased the number of plugins that we need to maintain to be able to be usable with a lot of different editors. So I steal the term editor mode burnout from the previous paper related to specifically Merlin. It was a Merlin an experience report in 2018, I guess. It makes a spotlight on the fact that maintaining a lot of editor plugins can be very complicated. And it can be very complicated when we don't share the skill set for maintaining properly that editor plugin. So for example, I use Emacs not very well, but it's the only editor that I know. So it's complicated for me to have a good insight about what is an expected user experience for people that use Vim. So yeah, it was very complicated, and I think that when I joined Tarides, Merlin.l, which was the Merlin mod for Emacs, and OCaml and Merlin.vim were not extremely well maintained. So fortunately, in 2016, Microsoft came with an open source editor called Visual Studio Code. I was not able to use it because I had just a normal computer and it was too much complicated for me to launch Electron application. But the editor comes with a nice abstraction about the interaction that we can have between a human and an editor. And it was extracted as a protocol called language server protocol for LSP. And the main idea was to unify the way that we are interacting between editor and different language. And it captured a very huge spectrum of language feature, but it was closely linked to the TypeScript semantics. So for example, when we are writing OCaml, we can have an infinite level of nesting of expression. That is not really the case in C# or TypeScript. And so it's just a protocol built on top of a JSON RPC server. So it's relatively easy to extend at the client level. And it has become a standard because VS Code introduced it. But now there is, since the 29 version of Emacs, there is a LSP client integrated, which was called Iglot. Vim has some variation like NeoVim that can directly communicate with an LSP server, and you have new editor like Z, Elix that are shipped with a default support of LSP. So, first question is, why is Marlin not compliant since day one? And it's because Marlin was released 3 years earlier of the specification of the protocol. And LSP has not been the de facto standard. It takes almost yet 2 years to become something widely adopted by other editors. So the genericity of LSP is across 5 important pillars. The first one is language intelligence. It's not my terminology, it comes from the explanation about LSP. So we have stuff like overing, we can jump to definition, declaration, we have notion of occurrence that we can find, and we can have a hierarchical navigation between code outlines. We have code assistance, so completion, signature help, can have semantic highlighting, and renaming occurrences. We have what they call code quality that allows to have diagnostics and code lengths and formatting. And there is a standard way to deal with synchronization. So we can extend the server at the client, we can extend the interaction with LSP at the client or the server level using capability-based configuration. And it allows to have partial implementation of the protocol or client. And there is a notion of project awareness. It was already done in other editors, like in Projectile for Emacs, for example, but it allows the editor to react to file system modification inside the project. So now it's cool because we keep the same workflow, but we just have an LSP server that can interact with tool, and so it's perfect. We can deal with every editor, so it's perfect. We just have to implement properly the server, and we can delegate the client implication to editor maintainers, which is better because we expect that they are experts into implementing stuff in their own editors. And they can choose the right user experience. So can we simply abandon Merlin and fully adopt LSP? So because it looks better in terms of maintenance, because yes, we don't have to maintain client, so it's very cool, we can just focus on the server part. And so it's complicated for multiple reasons. The first one is user habits. I know that before joining Tarides, I set up Emacs for OCaml once. And I never touched to my configuration again until it was broken. But since OCaml tools are extremely stable, it works always perfectly. And in fact, the OCaml spectrum of user is very different than the data that we collect about people, relation between people and editor, because I think that in the OCaml community, we have maybe during the last OCaml survey, it was in 2023, the statistic was saying that 80% of people are using Emacs, which is beautiful. I read the Stack Overflow survey, and it was a little bit like the code base of Stack 2. It was 0.4% of people that were using Emacs. So we can imagine that people like to to preserve their habits. And so it's complicated to say, okay, we change everything, we change their experience, and now you have to use a new tool. So it's the fourth reason. And for feature parity, just some slide ago, I said that LSP tried to capture the idea of a generic language, but does it fit with some feature implemented by Merlin? And the answer is no. But that gives us very good defaults. So at least just having an LSP server is very nice because we can just ship the server. And when someone will use their editor with an LSP client, you will have completion, over diagnostic, and a lot of useful features. So it's already a win. So supporting LSP is necessary to onboard new users and to not have to understand how Z or Helix are configurable. But we need to preserve the original server just for existing users. So we have to maintain two servers in order to reduce the maintenance cost of client. But from my point of view, it's a nice choice because it's probably easier to maintain two servers than 1,000 of specific client plugins with different technology. So we decide to split the regular Merlin server into two things. The first one was Merlin lib, which outlined just the protocol and a lot of complicated stuff. Because I don't know if you are familiar with Merlin, but it vendor the compiler frontend, and it applied some patch to have a better experience for editors. So there is some examples, some features are present in Merlin and not in the OCaml type checker, like type all and typing recovery, and it uses a different algorithm to display short paths. And so the idea is to centralize everything related to the compiler into Merlin lib. So at every upstream, we can just change one package, and we don't have to mine every different package. And after that, you have two separate servers. So Merlin that will just exploit the Merlin lib protocol, and OCaml LSP that will just exploit as an API the protocol exposed in Merlin lib. So the project OCaml LSP include a complete, almost complete LSP binding written in pure OCaml. It's a complete LSP binding in pure OCaml. It's generated by using preprocessing and Synapse, which is a tool to make metaprogrammation. And it includes an almost complete LSP server. When I say almost, it's because some features make no sense in OCaml, so we decide to just not implementing them. So at this stage, we have two servers, so it's cool. So we can handle VS Code, which is now 80% of the diversity of software engineer from Stack Overflow. We can onboard new editor like NeoVim with a very decent support by default, so it's nice. But in the other hand, Merlin has advanced OCaml feature that was built to fit with the fact that you are writing OCaml, and we still have to maintain all complicated plugins. When I say that, it's not, again, I will just speak about the Emacs plugin because I don't know the Vim one. But when I say all complicated plugin, it's not a criticism. Merlin.l was extremely well engineered with a lot of good idea. And I know that the way Merlin was implemented on the Emacs side inspired some very important package of the community. So the way that we can jump from buffer and window in Xref, in the latest version of Xref, was directly inspired by the implementation present in Merlin. And we have a set of features that are not related to LSP, but implemented into Merlin. So we have typed alls. We have the construct and destruct function. So construct, we can generate an expression based on completion list on a typed all. Destruct, it's case analysis. We can generate pattern matching expression and missing case in pattern matching. We have search by types, search by type and polarity, which is a reimplementation of Sherlock inside Merlin. And you have from my point of view, extremely useful feature type enclosing. I don't know if you are familiar with type enclosing, but before starting working on Emacs, I just use it to print type. And so since VS Code and LSP can just display type, I was not very impressed by the type enclosing feature, but when I have to re-implement it into the new Emacs client, I discovered that it can grow and shrink the enclosing. This is why it's called type enclosing and not display type. And we can traverse type alias, increasing and decreasing verbosity. So it's a very useful tool, and I use it a lot. And so the main idea is how to reach the feature parity. So making that specific set of features accessible here. And the goal is to making the Merlin server obsolete, but I know that it will take some time. And yes, and at least Bing is a feature, so we can just reduce the maintenance cost of Vim and Emacs plugin. So we can just extend the protocol. So we can do it externally. We can try to contribute to the specification, opening issue on the GitHub repository, but it can be very complicated because it uses a very strange way to decide what is relevant or not. Or we can make it internally using what the protocol offers to us to make extension. So if you try to make it externally, it becomes not a technical conversation, but a political one. And when we ask for protocol extension, saying that, you know, we have a language that represents 0.003% of the usage of the stack survey number 2. It's hard to convince people, and the strategy to accept new iteration of the protocol is to use an emoji-based ranking. So you open an issue and you say, you know, if you have 50 thumbs up, we will probably think about implementing it, which can be complicated to achieve in the Camel community, which is very small compared to the Python one. Fortunately, the LSP protocol gives us two tools to going further than what was already defined. So it's collection and custom request. So here it will be probably the polemic part of the presentation, because I know that already we do not totally agree about the fact that should we introduce custom request or not. So collection is just a contextual action based on the cursor position that can be triggered, and it can broadcast a client command that will be implemented by the editor. So we know that some features naturally fit to collection, like destruct, because in destruct we know that we are in a pattern case, and we know that we can probably call destruct. And custom request is the fact that since an LSP server is just a designer PC server, we can just send arbitrary method and let the client to react to that kind of method. So it does not handle editor interaction. We need to create a specific plugin to interpret the response of a custom request. So collection looks like very cool because it do not require too much work per editor or per client. And we know that we have a lot of features that make sense to interact via collection. And the actions are only parameterized by the context, and it's not possible to interact with the user because it will require to abstract the notion of widget, so it can be complicated. And when an action broadcasts a client command, we still need to have a dedicated plugin to handle that client command. And for custom request, but we can do what we want. So we just send a method name and what we want as the parameters, and we can interpret it as we want. We can chain request at the client level. We can have user interaction because it's implemented at the client side. And in fact, it fits well with the capabilities-based configuration because we can, from the client, know if a custom request is available or not on the server side. So it always implies a client-side implementation, since it's not part of the protocol. And in fact, assuring the request evolution can be complicated. So we decide, for example, to make a custom request, and after 2 versions, we realize that, in fact, it was not very well implemented. So in order to avoid that, we can just using usual technique and API versioning, which is not what we are currently done in OCaml LSP server for the moment. But at this stage, we still need to make dedicated plugins. But at least it's far more minimalistic than the other one. So I think it's a gain. So here is a very, a very informal heuristic about the way that how to choose to implement it using a collection or a custom request. So the main idea is, by default, we will always try to fit the feature into a custom request, into a collection, because it reduces the cost of handling it at the editor side. And in fact, if, for example, we don't have the client command broadcast by the execution of the collection, it's okay. It still works. So an example of broadcasting a command is when we are constructing or destructing something, the collection will broadcast jump to next hole. So in terms of user experience, it's nice because the cursor will move to the hole generated by the result of a collection. So if if we need to fill parameters that are independent from the context, or we need additional interaction, we go to custom request. Otherwise, we use collection. Which leads to this particular situation. Now we have a OCaml LSP server, and we have 3 main clients, 3 main custom clients on top of regular LSP client. The first one is was the historically first one, is VS Code OCaml platform that handle a set of extension. After that, you have OCaml Iglot, which is the Emacs implementation, since someday it's more featured than Merlin.l. And we have an OCaml NeoVim implementation, which is work in progress, but you can already use it because you will take advantage of full LSP feature. And we are trying to implementing every custom request one by one. So since a lot of complicated functionality like maintaining state, looking for occurrence, dealing with completion are already handled by the editor side, it drastically reduces the cost of editor maintenance and dedicated plugin maintenance. So we think that it makes sense to sometime adding a custom request. Because even if it introduces more maintenance, I guess that it's still easier to use it than making a full plugin for that. And so sometimes we can try to make some compromise. So let's imagine that I have something that looks like it can be fit into a collection, but it's not really the case. So I make a small compromise, and okay, I will probably reduce the user experience in order to just give it for free for people for editor that will handle LSP. We can attach the collection with a custom request that can be increase the user experience of that. And since we have configuration-based capabilities, we can let people that implement dedicated client decide if they want to keep the collection or to improve the ergonomics using a custom request. So it was mostly, so just to summarize, we know that we still maintain Merlin and Merlin Lib. Merlin Lib becomes the low-level library that we are using in OCaml LSP and in the legacy Merlin server. We work on other stuff related to editor that, from my point of view, are interesting. So we try to improve the performance with, from my point of view, an exciting use case of multicore and effect handlers. I said that it's, for me, an exciting use case because for me, effects are mostly useful when you need to deal with the handling of control flow or your software. So when you need backtracking or you write a concurrency library, so not my day-to-day job. But here the idea is to separate type checking and analysis into 2 different domains. And to, at every request, we try to reach the point that we are sufficiently advanced into the type checking of the buffer to perform the analysis and restore the result of the request. So we continue type checking until we reach the point that it makes sense, and after that we resume the continuation with the result. So another ongoing work is to reducing the gap between Merlin and OCaml type checker. So we are currently upstreaming the typing recovery implementation from Merlin to the compiler, and the PR is open. So if someone that has a lot of knowledge on type checking want to review it, feel free. And there's also awesome work on structural navigation, which is based on Tricitter and Combobulate on Emacs side. Yes, there is no work for that on Neovim, because Neovim go with a very complete support of Tricitter. So in Emacs, you need to use Combobulate, and I think it's almost merged. Almost. It will be used in 2 days. And that's it for me. 25 minutes, perfect. So your contributions are extremely valuable because you are always trying to reach user feedback. Feel free to open issue, contribute, finance. There's various kind of projects, and I will be happy to take some questions if I have time.
Right, so we have time for questions.
Okay, I have a question. So one of the goals was to reduce maintainer burden. So then I would guess that the size of OCaml eglot is smaller than Merlin. Did you compare Merlin.l?
Yeah, I think it's 10 times smaller than Merlin.l.
With the same feature?
With more feature.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. Another question. Sure.
Sorry, saves me. What should I do in Doom Emacs? I'm not really an Emacs person, but I've started using Doom Emacs. Can I use OCaml eglot with that?
I think that we should probably need to make a PR in order to manage OCaml eglot as an overlay of OCaml plus eglot in Doom Emacs. And it's definitely something that we should do.
Right. Okay, cool. I look forward to it. Thank you. Thanks.
All right. You may not be familiar with this at all, but is there a story for OxCaml?
Yes, yes. Yes, there is a lot of story of OxCaml. I think that at least there is some part of maintenance of Merlin that is related to OxCaml.
Okay.
And I know that, for example, when typing recovery will be sufficiently advanced on the regular OCaml compiler, we will try to open the OxCaml corresponding PR on the OxCaml compiler. And I think that we should probably think, and we start thinking about how to have a good user interaction with, for example, mods, printing mode, and stuff like that.
So you're working together?
Yes, I think that we are a big family.
Great. Okay. Any other questions?
Or
Okay.
remarks.
Or remarks or arguments? Okay.
Hi, great talk. Does VS Code or OCaml platform communicate with Merlin only through LSP, or is there a side channel?
No, it's communicated only through LSP, but we have a custom request which was called Merlin call compatible that can deal with the old Merlin protocol. So you can directly use feature from Merlin when it makes sense. But I think that our goal is to always expose, when we need to have specific function from the Merlin protocol, we will probably try to expose it as a custom request on the LSP side.
This is an Emacs question. There's a few different Emacs sort of modes for OCaml specifically, and there's various levels of maintenance and that sort of thing. Have you thought about how we could get to a point where there's like one mode for it, and we can sort of combine a lot of this functionality into one project, so there's less maintenance there?
Yes, maybe. There is at least three major modes for Emacs. So there is Camel mode, Touareg, and NeoCamel. I think that it would be nice to at least upstream tree-sitter feature for syntax highlighting from NeoCaml to Touareg, because I think that most of people that use Emacs, which is not a big amount of people, but are using Touareg. And I'm not sure about the state of camel mode, but your suggestion is to merge everything from the Emacs side into just one OCaml.l module, for example?
Yeah, like it. So this is my opinion, but the Emacs seems to have bet on using tree sitter, and a bunch of other languages, like other editors like Zed, have bet on using tree sitter as their way of understanding languages. So it sort of makes sense in my mind to collapse the Emacs mode into we'll support the tree sitter stuff on top of Emacs, and I think that would get rid of a lot of the Cruft and Touareg and Camel mode, and there'd be less code with less maintenance, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that it's probably one of the other direction that we can take. So managing, abstracting, we abstract over IDE services, and after that we can abstract over syntax manipulation, and tree sitter is probably the right way to do that. And I hope that we maybe reach a point where we can collapse NeoCaml and Touareg.
All right, let's think. What? Okay.
I just have one last question. What is the WASM and browser compilation story? So there's CodeMirror now, and I think Merlin does a pretty good job of compiling in, but all of these sockets and LSP things makes it difficult to run fully in a pure browser environment, right? Do you have any ideas on where that's going?
No, to be honest, I don't know. Sorry.
All right. Thank you.